major spoilers. Welcome one and all. I love science. I may not be a witch, but here I am. I am the Science Witch, and
welcome to Night Vale.
In all reality, welcome to another ship analysis. This week, as you can probably tell by my attire, we are going to be doing a ship from Welcome to Night Vale. You probably already know what it is, considering I probably titled the video with it, and it's like the canon OTP best ship of the fandom, which is Cecilos, Cecil and Carlos. Oh, first of all, I should probably mention, the reason I'm dressed like this is I am doing a cos test of Cecil. I've got a pair of headphones, which, I mean, they're just white and black ones, so they probably wouldn't be final ones. I'd probably get like a better pair. I've got my Galaxy suspenders, purple bow tie, black shirt, and I have different pants on, but right now I'm wearing like capri jeans. I have other outfits I could probably wear, like I have furry pants that I could use, and if I could find a tunic anywhere, I could probably wear that. But regardless, I'm getting off track. This ship, from the get-go, I can say A+, good ship, man, A+ ship, cute, domestic. Oh my god, this ship is golden. Fantastic ship. From the beginning. From literally the beginning. Episode 1. I have no idea what episode we're on in Night Vale. I haven't listened in quite a while. I have a lot of catching up to do. From everything I know right now, they are still together. I should probably do a little research. So after doing a little bit more research, I can conclude that Cecilos is definitely still canon. Not as much cause I was on the, Carlos and Cecil's relationship wiki for Welcome to Night Vale subplots, and, the last part the only part that I had not known about is during, Hey There Cecil. Cecil got a call from an anonymous listener who was signed Lonely Boy in the Laboratory, who asked Cecil out for drinks and an opera, and I'm like 95% sure, without listening to the episode, it was definitely Carlos. I mean, come on. Lonely Boy in a Laboratory? And one thing I found pretty funny, Cecil responds that yes, he would like an opera, and whatever else happens after. My boy Cecil's gonna get some. As you can see, I love this ship. This was one of my first, real fandom ships. Again, Night Vale came out when I was in about 7th grade, when my fandom phase started, and it was like in the center of all that, and it's just a really, really good podcast that I very heavily enjoy. And Cecil and Carlos's relationship is one of the things that kept me coming back. Now, in the media, there is not a lot of queer LGBT representation in a good light, in a domestic light, one where they're not seen as outcasts. The entire thing isn't focused just on them being gay, or whatever their sexualities are. I'm assuming, as nothing has been told otherwise, that they are gay. Cecilos is just purely domestic fluff. The two of them go through a lot of issues that normal couples do go through. First, Cecil falling in love instantly, which, love at first sight, that's adorable. When you get to condos, and a few episodes beforehand, he mentions little quirks about Carlos that aren't as satisfactory, like how he tends to chew a little bit loudly than is preferred. And then in condos, the entire subplot of the episode, it might even be considered the plot of the episode, is Cecil trying to figure out if Carlos wants to move in. If Carlos wants them to move in with one another in a condo. When they get to the condos, lots of stuff happens, and he realizes that Carlos isn't perfect. And Carlos is imperfect. And he loves him still the same. And if that isn't the cutest shit you have ever heard, then you are lying to me. Because that is the cutest shit ever. Just putting that out there. And then from there, things just get more and more and more and more and more domestic. You hear about little things, Cecil and Carlos sending emails to one another about picking up groceries or what Carlos is gonna cook that night, pasta, and them watching documentaries as, oh god, I think that was in, god, I forget which episode that was in. Before recording this, I was listening to a thing, all mentions of Carlos and Welcome to Night Vale. I watched about almost 2 hours worth of footage, so, and it's just so nice. And you listen to it and you're like, huh, nothing about this can go wrong. Oak doors. Boy, Carlos gets stuck in the desert otherworld. He ends up meeting Kevin, which is really creepy, and for a while, Cecil goes through, it's not really withdrawal, but he has a lot of separation anxiety, which causes him to heavily drink and cry a lot. The poor soul. Throughout this, once Kevin and Cecil kind of make appearances together, you start to get that lurking anxiety or lurking panic that Carlos is gonna leave Cecil to stay in the desert otherworld. Not because of Kevin, but because of all the science stuff there. When Carlos leaves that message for Kevin on the desk, whew boy, I was livid. Oh my god, I was, like, he's just, Kevin was, Kevin, I forget what he was saying, he's like, oh, it looks like Carlos left his letter here. Oh dear. Like, bye bitch, I'm going back to my boyfriend. My heart. The ship. Good shit, man, good shit. Not to mention, their voices could not be played any better. I cannot see those two being played by anyone other than Cecil Baldwin and Dylan Marin. They are spot on. I mean, really you only have the voices to go off, but when you think of, you know, a very handsome scientist with his smooth-talking radio host boyfriend, you're gonna think he's going to sound a little dorky, but still have that good voice, that nice voice, and just generally pleasing to listen to. And he is. They make each other into better people. Steve Carlsberg talks about how Cecil was much more focused on his work in the past, and I quote, "This past year has softened him a lot, in the right places." Basically saying that ever since Carlos came around, Cecil has become a lot more relaxed and lenient, and just generally in better spirits. And similarly with Carlos, Cecil has gotten Carlos to be able to step away from his work to value their relationship and to be this domestic partnership and this real relationship, which is super important. They help each other develop as characters and just as people in general. It's so perfect. Imperfect. Just very imperfect. And one of the other things that's probably the last thing I'm going to touch on in this video is Cecil and Carlos's long distance portion, which is obviously when Carlos gets stuck in the desert otherworld. My girlfriend being 900 miles away, I understand the feeling or what the two of them were feeling. They were trying to talk every night. Carlos was getting busy, Cecil was busy. They couldn't talk every night like they had wanted to. But despite all that, they still remained true to each other and as devoted and caring towards one another as they always had been. Sure, Carlos may have gotten a little carried away with the science, but he realized where he belonged, which was in Night Vale. And he was able to go back and be with Cecil. And I don't think that could have been any better. It's like despite the distance, they still had a home within each other. And they belonged together. So maybe Carlos wasn't from Night Vale, but he belonged with Cecil. And I just think that's beautiful. I just think that's neat. So, to conclude, domestic fluff, super cute, sweet sultry voices that are very appealing, and really strong personal connections through distance, and they help improve each other as people. I mean, how can you get any better than that? Sure, like every relationship, they have their problems, but it doesn't get in the way of how much they love each other. And that certain domesticness that Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner put their relationship into is just, it's wonderful. That's why I'm giving this ship a A+, 100%. I mean, it's already canon. A+ on their ship grade. Anyways, thank you guys so much for taking your time to watch this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, take a stab at that like button to let me know, and I hope to see each and every one of you sometime in the very near future. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Bye! And now I have to go take all this makeup off and go to bed. This'll be fun.